Hello, my name is Jessica Oster, and I'm going to go ahead and go from the bottom of the list. So, what are the expectations of a professional in the field of education? I feel that this question is so loaded. There are so many expectations of an educator or of anybody in this profession that maybe a supervisor or something that's not necessarily in the classroom teaching. Not only do we have to make sure that we are educating students, but we also have to make sure that we are keeping them safe. We have to be aware of their surroundings as well as our surroundings to ensure the safety of them, but also as well to ensure the social, emotional, physical, developmental growth and progress that they're making. We have to make sure that the students are able to grow and to flourish within our environment, but also making sure to advocate and get them the supplies and environments that they need to become successful even outside of our classroom. I really feel that the moral code that was within our study task this week really laid everything out perfectly. I feel that every single code of ethic that was within that moral code absolutely is like just another expectation of educators. It can almost be daunting when you really think about how many things are expected from educators. But if you really think of how absolutely precious and important and extremely just cautious almost our work is, it's important that we're held to these high expectations. And it's very important and very vital that we follow and live up to these expectations. So as for the dispositions that I personally possess, I feel that I possess the disposition to promote curiosity and encourage active inquiry. I have worked in a Montessori preschool for the last 4.5, almost 5 years, maybe closer to 5 years, and I have loved absolutely everything about working in this environment. There's a lot of allowance for freedom within the environment, and there's also a lot of freedom in allowing your curriculum to sway in the way that the students' interests go. And I have found myself that when I really am focusing on my students' interests and not so much on the set curriculum that is set in place by the directors of the school, that my children are learning so much all the time, no matter what. Even though I am definitely still upholding my children to the expectations that I have for them, I am also ensuring that they're interested in the topics that we're learning about by incorporating things that they show interest in. It's been a really just eye-opening and really amazing way to teach, because not only are my children learning how to read, write, and sing their ABCs and count and do all those things, they're learning a lot of social, emotional topics. We just recently, with my first through third graders, we were having like a really in-depth conversation about empathy and understanding others' feelings and where they might be coming from, as well as bucket dipping and how even though we might not be trying to hurt somebody, we could be hurting them without knowing. And it was very interesting to see what happened after the initial conversation. We read one book, we had an initial conversation, and then I just kind of let it go from there. And within 20 to 30 minutes after that conversation, they were using that language with each other, and they were exploring what it felt like to say those things and to hear those things. And it was really, truly so amazing to see and experience. I definitely think one disposition that I need to work on to grow as an educator is to understand the effect of community involvement. In the school that I'm in currently, it's a private school, so we don't have a lot of community involvement, but I would love to try to get our community more involved in our education, as well as finding communities here in Las Vegas where I live, different resources that we could use to just even support our community, even because the school that I work in is in a very I don't want to say wealthy, but in a better part of town, and we definitely have the resources and the capability to help others, and I would absolutely love to be able to do that, and I am going to hopefully try to make sure that I am doing that, because everybody deserves to be treated equally, and everybody deserves to have access to the things that they need. And that is my video. Thank you so much.